Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 10th to the 16th of June 2013. We're just coming out of the new moon in Gemini, which was Saturday the 8th of June, and this has set up a 2-week window of intense, very positive manifesting power. So Gemini is all to do with how we tune into thought forms, process it through our brains, and turn it into action through words and through our hands. So we're literally being able to manifest from the ethereal realms into our reality. Every year there'll be a new moon in Gemini, but this year is quite special because it's joined by Mars and by Jupiter as well. So bearing in mind this has just initiated a 2-week window, this is going to carry on with the energy all through this week and next week. And the Jupiter aspect is the fascinating one, because Jupiter has spent the last year in Gemini, and Jupiter always expands wherever it goes. And Gemini is to do with the mind. So what we've been learning, if you think back till last year, is how to expand our mind, how to actually break free of restricted, limited thinking, how to escape the chattering mind and get to our largeness behind it. And Jupiter represents our sovereignty and our power. So Jupiter will be leaving Gemini in a couple of weeks, and this is the final home straight for all of that kind of thinking. So as we're manifesting over the next 2 weeks, the ideal would be to make it big and to make it truly in alignment with what is your source and your power and your real desires, rather than just, oh, I'd like a new job, or I'd like to upgrade my car or my phone. So this is much bigger than that, and we really need to tune into that energy and to dream big for the next couple of weeks, because this is going to initiate a whole new 12-year cycle, because Jupiter will not be back in Gemini for 12 years. With Mars in there as well, that's where we take our solar power and we direct it. That's what the circle and the spear of Mars represents. So we've also got the passion and drive in there to really go for whatever it is that our soul is calling us to do. So have a look in your chart where Gemini is, which house it's in, because that will give you some clues as to where you can most use those energies. So that's the Saturday the 8th on the new moon, but carrying on through, like I say, for the next 2 weeks. The rest of the energy in the chart is still very watery. We have this water trine that we've already spoken about, with Saturn and Neptune and a host of planets all forming a grand trine in the water signs in the skies. So there is an undercurrent of emotion, there's an undercurrent of clearing up a lot of emotional psychology and patterns and programs from the past. As Neptune has just turned retrograde, this means Neptune is going on an inward, and Neptune represents your spiritual core and where you resonate purely with Source. So we're going back in this grand trine to any issues that are stopping you, blocking you, and emotionally disabling you. And this could be as far back as your childhood, dealings with your mother, because we're in the water signs, or if you're male, with ex-girlfriends and your relationship with the feminine. If you're female, it's the relationship with your own feminine side, as many women have been encouraged to become quite masculine in their outlook in life in the last couple of decades. So we're reconnecting with the divine feminine, but we've also got the chance to undo a lot of psychological programming that may be limiting us and stopping us from achieving our true potential. So there could even be some past life resonances, but you're going to get quite a lot of retrospective. You may be reminded of an emotion that you first had when you were 14, but very much able to then take a look at it, see where it's coming from, see if it's finished now and you're carrying unnecessary cellular baggage, and cleanse so that we can go forwards lighter and brighter and more potent to take in new energy. So we have the moon joining Venus in Cancer on Monday, making the top point of this grand trine. And that obviously is very emotional, because the moon represents our subconscious thoughts and feelings, and Venus represents our muse, our values, and the earthly feminine. So we'll get to really work on the Venus energy on Monday when the moon joins Venus in Cancer. And then on Tuesday we have a different energy altogether. We have Venus opposite Pluto. And this will show us where our real anchor is in life, because Pluto's across the skies in Capricorn. And Capricorn, in a way, it's the mountain, but it's the foundations that you build to stand upon. So whatever we're standing upon in the Capricorn with Pluto, which is the transmuter, the transformer, the die to the old to be reborn to the new, with new strength and healing, those foundations need to be rock solid so that we can reach as high as possible and navigate the choppy waters of this water trine, which may, if not anchored correctly, get us all carried away with emotions, which is all very well, but emotions are energy in motion, so it's where we steer our emotions to actually have positive impact on our lives. So with Venus opposite Pluto, you've got feminine opposite masculine, but this will really show you where your power is coming from and where your true soul coherence is in what you truly desire, rather than the superficial desires that come and go on the chattering side of the brain. We're going behind the front brain, into the back brain, into what really matters, and aligning with our soul desire and making real manifestations, making our thoughts, our deep emotional connection thoughts become reality here, rather than just oh, that'll do for this week. We have a moon in Leo bringing a little bit of heat on Wednesday, so that should get quite creative. May find some emotional outbursts of anger or pride coming in there, but again, it's all for the ability for us to purge and transform. And then towards the end of the week it gets a bit quieter on the inner planets, which can often affect us on a day-by-day basis, and we're heading towards this leaving of Jupiter from Gemini. So it's really worth, by the end of the week, once we've set a few plans in motion on those first few days and tackled our emotional backlog and made amends and atonements for the past so that we can walk forwards clearer, it's really worth, by the end of the week, just having a real think about what truly matters, where your real power is, what's sustaining you, making sure that it's you sustaining you and your connection to source, not relying on the outer world for false security, and really working with that Jupiter energy before it leaves us on the 27th of June for another 12 years. So we have all this water energy, we have Pluto there anchoring us in Capricorn, saying make it count, make it matter, build your castle on stone. And then we have all this high-flying, potential, buzzing Gemini energy saying, okay, get to be the master of your mind. Grand Trine, get to be the master of your heart. And Pluto, get to build your own castle according to what you want it to be, not trying to please parents or trying to please peers or built on fears of hurt and rejection from the past. Clear all that away, decide who you are, what you stand on and what you stand for, so that as we go into this magnificent, magical, manifesting cycle, we really are building something that's true to our own soul, and not just because we assume that that's what makes us look good or that's what we've always wanted. So it's a very powerful week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, quick changes, lots of emotions flowing around, but the real question to ask here is, what am I learning here? Does this still serve me? Can it go? And when you're letting go of anything, the great practice is to let go with gratitude, because everything has served you and you have called everything into you. So it's a gratitude and a release rather than a desperate pushing off, which will actually make those lasting changes. So that's the week this week, and I'll see you next week.